Lifting weights has benefits for all of us, right? It's because they make us stronger. They increase our stamina and they enable us to accomplish our dreams, right? But when we lift the weight of others so that they can get through their difficulties, maybe that's the best weight that we can bear. Let's do some reps next.
Welcome to the Educators Among Us podcast, where we share motivational messages and inspiring stories for and about educators. Your host, Scott Barron, is author of the critically acclaimed book, Love 'Em and Lead 'Em, and provides powerful insights and wisdom for those who heed the call to teach, coach, lead, and serve at all levels of education.
This is Scott Barron, and I'm honored to be your host for the Educators Among Us podcast, where we get to share, perspective, and we get to share some stories and just some insights intended for those who serve in all levels of education. Why? Well, because educators, talented, energized, engaged educators, they change the world. They change the world for so many different people. And that happens in the preschool level all the way up to through K-12 into higher ed and even in continuing ed. Educators know how to provide that spark. They know how to give that insight. They know how to inspire those dreams, right? And that's the joy of our work is being able to pour into the lives and sometimes lift the weight, lift the burden of those that we encounter, right? They could be students, it could be colleagues or parents or others that are in our sphere of influence. And educators are actually weightlifters. Have you been to the gym? Maybe you have a membership. And of course, some of us, we pay a lot of money sometimes for memberships that we may use maybe after Christmas or New Year's, right? And it kind of tails off that enthusiasm and that joy. But the weightlifters, those who go to the gym every day and they get really strong and they get disciplined and well, it actually turns out that lifting weights, it actually has benefits, right? And, it's like Stephen Covey said, right? Just as we develop our physical muscles through overcoming opposition, such as, lifting weights, and we develop our character muscles by overcoming challenges and adversity. Now lifting weights physically, we know that there are plenty of studies that show that lifting weights, it isn't just good for like student athletes. Sometimes in our schools, we have athletes that play different sports and they're in the gym working out and they sometimes the coaches are in there saying, come on, let's go. Come on, push it. There's a lot of enthusiasm and encouragement that happens there to push themselves. Right. And so sometimes we have to maybe think about, hey, maybe strength training is, is actually good for some of us as well. Now, I know there's some schools that offer that, and some faculty take advantage of that, some don't, right? But strength training is good for muscle building, but regularly pumping iron, it also improves our mood. That's what the studies have found. It actually improves our ability to sustain some joy in the work, right? Our mood, our metabolism keeps us, energized and enables us to be able to generate energy. And of course, actual maturity. Lifting weights actually has found to reduce some of the risks of an early death. Right? That's real benefits, right? So in other words, ironically, dumbbells are smart, right? Dumbbells actually provide some benefit, right? So, and actually, according to that research, by the way, women benefit the most from lifting weights. That's really quite fascinating, right? So perhaps our professional development plans for our school for this year, maybe it should also incorporate collaboration with the athletic department for classes for the teachers and the staff in the weight room. Not a bad idea, I don't think, right? So lifting weights, right? Bearing the burden of others also has benefits. And Romans 15:1 says, we who are strong, we have an obligation. We have an obligation to bear with the failings of the weak and not just to please ourselves, right? Those who have a strength, those who have an ability, have a responsibility to walk the journey, to find ways of making life a little better for others. You see, each of us has burdens, right? Each of us, we have burdens that we bear, and sometimes they become overwhelming. Sometimes they put us in a position that just feels like there's no way out, right? But how do some people keep going? I think it has something to do with how they carry the load. I don't think it's the load itself. I think it's some way that they're able to just develop that maybe that grit or that perseverance, that will to move on. Some people, they're actually are instead of asking who's going to help me, some are saying, hey, who's going to stop me? Right? It's interesting, right? As educators, we have the privilege and the duty to love our colleagues, to love our students, to love the parents that we have a chance to serve, and we're guiding them through and loving them through all the difficulties of life. And often we have the opportunity to lift the weight, right? To lift the weight of their load within, sometimes it's just an attentive ear where we pay attention and we stop. We actually stop to listen, to pause in all the tyranny of the urgent, just to listen and provide those encouraging words, and perhaps even, where appropriate, some wise guidance, right? When the weight is lifted, when we lift their weight, right, they're able to walk a little faster and feel a little stronger. It's if you remember if you were ever walking and you were carrying a heavy load, a backpack or something else, and then you took that load off. Whew. Wow, what a feeling of relief from your muscles. It's like, oh, my back or my legs and my arms, and whether we set it down or we actually had a chance to hand it off, maybe share some of that load, it makes us walk a little faster. It makes us a little stronger. The burden becomes light that is shared by love, said Ovid. Just as real as the burdens, so are the blessings that come from shared endurance. We actually receive a blessing when we walk with others, when we find the time, when we make the time, we invest the energy, when we take a time out from others and we are intentional and generous with our time, we ease the burdens of others. Helping others keeps things in perspective for us, right? It reminds us who we are and why we're here. It's supportive of a positive attitude. It keeps our frame of mind in check. It takes keen awareness, a willing spirit, and often creativity to ease their journey. Sometimes we have to kind of figure it out. Sometimes we have to solve a problem or two. And that's the joy of the work. It actually enhances not only our spirit, but actually our intelligence as well. As difficult as the trials may be, as difficult as the trials may be, we are loved. And we're well equipped by our Creator to be able to work through and gain strength through the turbulence. Embracing the great adventures that life brings enables us to fully live and even to learn. Those adventures, those challenges, carrying the weight, lifting the weight for others, it makes a difference. So be a weightlifter this week, my friend, growing your character muscles as you lighten the load for others. It matters. And maybe even being a weightlifter to strengthen your own body, mind, and soul as well. Hey, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a part of a system, of a program, of a service that tries to change the lives of others, that gives them a hope. Because what we know about the best educators is they bring a hope. They always believe. They have a faith in people. They have a faith and they have a perseverance in what they do. And so So thank you for your dedication to the craft of being an educator. And as you go through this week, invite others to come and be a part of this community as we try to provide those little encouragements. I get letters back from people all around the world who express an appreciation that, hey, somebody gets us. Somebody understands what it's like to be in this role and the vast responsibilities and the challenges of the work. And so, hey, thank you for caring and thank you for sharing those messages. And it's a privilege. It really is. And as we get a chance to work with educators all around North America, even going to be in South America here next month and other parts of the world, what a privilege. What a privilege it is to provide even a better environment and to lift up those who answer the call, who are gifted educators and answer that call every day. And as you're going through this week, just food for thought, a question to consider, a coaching question for you. Did I do my best to lift weights today? Did I do my best to lift weights today? Hey, love them and lead them, my friend. This is Scott.
Thank you for joining us for the Educators Among Us podcast and for your courageous commitment to this noble calling. We get you and the challenges of this work. To stay connected with this community, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and weekly encouragement at educatorsamongus.com.